Right now at noon, a judge in Jasper County sentences an Oklahoma man for his role in 2024 murder.
And we're starting to see some of those pop-up storms out there on this hot and muggy day. A look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, some area schools may find themselves scrambling for funding after a federal grant is withheld.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
An Oklahoma man learns his fate in connection with a March 2024 homicide in Jasper County. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Samantha Walker. Back in May, Scott Burleson pled guilty to murder in the 2nd degree for his involvement in the murder of a Carl Junction man. Yesterday, a judge sentenced Burleson to life in prison for his role. As part of the deal in May, authorities dropped additional charges against Burleson, including robbery and armed criminal action. The case stems from an incident last March when Jasper County authorities responded to a report of an assault in the area of 7th Street and State Line Avenue. Responders took the victim, Seth Langford of Carl Junction, to a local hospital with severe injuries from an apparent stabbing. Langford later died from his injuries. An investigation found Burleson and Paul Phillips as the primary suspects. Phillips also pled guilty to his role in the 2024 murder. As part of the deal, charges were amended to just a charge of unlawful possession of a firearm. He was originally charged with multiple felonies, including 1st-degree robbery and armed criminal action. Let's check in with Chris Warner for a first look at the forecast.
Yeah, we're starting to see some pop-up storms here and there. Maybe a hair early than what we were expecting, but almost right on course for what Future Track said. And some clouds right now downtown Pittsburgh. MoDOT camera 20th in rangeline. Still getting plentiful sunshine though, so it's still warm and muggy. But here's a quick look at those storms again, mainly east of the 69 corridor, but we do have a few out a little further west of that, and they'll continue to pop up and develop and slowly drift off to the east and north. Yesterday, below average for the low and a degree below normal for the high, and that's not going to be the case over the next several days. We're already up to 84 now. Feels like 90 in Joplin. Again, humidity dew point up, hence the fuel for these pop-up storms. Over in Pittsburgh, we're sitting at 86. Feels like 95. Dew point at 75. Humidity is 70%. Temperatures this afternoon, some low 80s. We're seeing a little more of that cloud cover. Starting to see some of those pop-up storms are already cruising into the upper 80s, close to 90 out west, pushing those heat index values out west, upper 90s to 100 in the water. All of us eventually could see heat index values close to 100 today. Be in the mid 80s by 7. The last of those pop-up storms should start to wrap up. We'll have mostly clear skies and above normal temperatures overnight. More storm chances though on the way and more heat on the way. Details in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Thanks, Chris. Several districts in the 4 states are trying to rework their budgets after a $6 billion federal grant is withheld. These same districts were expecting to have these funds by July 1st, but the U.S. Department of Education has frozen the money to ensure they're in line with President Trump's policies. As KOAM's Lonnie Walton reports, the Pittsburgh School District is warning of the loss of these funds could disproportionately hurt low-income families, as well as another vital service for the support students.
It was a sad day.
Ann Lee is the assistant superintendent of Pittsburgh High School. She remembers the day she received a letter stating her school district would no longer receive a vital funding she was promised days earlier. She says the money is vital for students and teachers.
It would be very a monumental task and could at times be overwhelming because of the significant number of needs that the kids have.
A significant number of needs is what this district and several others are going to have if these frozen funds aren't released. Ray Streeter from Northeast School District says he already has plans just in case things don't change.
We'll have to take money from other places in our budget to replace those funds. It's not optimal. We obviously don't want to do that.
Now, Streeter says he can handle the load this time around. However, in Pittsburgh, Lee says these funds will hurt everything from teaching English, retaining teachers, after-school support, and more.
Talking about a significant number of kids that are going to be impacted, along with the teachers who will be in the classroom who need the additional support to help reach them.
We're a high-needs district. We have a pretty high poverty rate. And I know that those funds do come in handy.
Both Street and Lee say they do not understand why this is happening or when it will end.
We're working through and coming up with a plan if they are no longer frozen but not available for us to use.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Pittsburgh schools say if this issue doesn't get resolved, they're set to lose nearly $550,000. As school officials scramble to adjust their budgets to fall in line with President Trump's Big Beautiful Bill, the SNAP program may suffer deep cuts. SNAP, or the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, provides food benefits to low-income families to supplement their grocery budget so they can afford nutritious food. Experts say cuts to SNAP may have a long-lasting impact on children specifically.
SNAP benefits really, in particular, help children to get the healthy food that they need to succeed in school. And we have to remember that if we're cutting SNAP benefits now and children aren't getting what they need to perform at their best in school, this is going to have lifelong implications for those kids and how much income they're going to be able to make as future workers in the United States.
SNAP also provides support to elderly households, to low-income working households, and to other low-income households that include the unemployed or disabled, and to households transitioning from welfare to work. Well, guns, SWAT, and jail. Those are just some of the topics talked about at the Jasper County Sheriff's Junior Deputy Camp. Reporter Ty Parks brings us the story.
I wanted to see what different jobs had to offer, what other jobs had to offer.
Junior Deputy Jacob Hoffman wants to know what it's like to be a police officer. So, at the Junior Deputy Camp hosted by Jasper County Sheriff's Department, he is learning about firearm safety and special weapons and tactics.
Oh, that was pretty cool. Like seeing all the gadgets and all the stuff they have, break into houses and save people.
The 4-day camp is designed to give kids an overview while keeping it fun and engaging.
No matter how old you are, ain't nobody likes to sit in a class and be bored by PowerPoint. So we try to keep it hands-on, actually learning and moving and doing stuff, seeing the stuff that they wouldn't normally see, being able to interact with the officers one-on-one, getting to see the dog actually work up close instead of just, as they're driving by and seeing a dog working and wondering what they're doing. They're getting to actually see how that dog works and why that dog works the way it does.
But ultimately, they want the kids to know there are humans behind the badge.
Law enforcement's not a bad thing. I just hope they realize that we are real people too. We just got a job to do like any other job. We have good days and bad days just like everybody else, and they just see that we're people.
With 1 day complete, Jacob Hoffman has hope for the next 3 days.
To learn a better understanding about the police force and how they do their job. They do it really well, so I'm just hoping to learn more about their job.
Ty Parks, KOAM News.
Coming up, from a Supreme Court win to weapons deals with NATO, the latest from President Trump and the White House. And later, we're making a darn good corn salad in Mr. Food Test Kitchen. The Trump administration has been given the green light to dismantle the Department of Education and lay off all of its employees. The Supreme Court stayed an injunction that stopped the administration from gutting the department while the case works its way through the courts. This comes as the president gave his own green light for the sale of weapons to NATO, which will be delivered to Ukraine.
Russia says Ukrainian drone attacks struck overnight, injuring more than a dozen and damaging buildings. The Financial Times reports Tuesday that President Trump privately encouraged Ukraine to step up deep strikes on Russian territory, even asking President Volodymyr Zelensky if Ukraine could hit Moscow, citing people briefed on the discussions.
We are very unhappy, I am, with Russia.
It comes as the U.S. and NATO worked out a deal to provide more weapons to Ukraine as NATO allies ramp up pressure on Russian President Vladimir Putin.
President
Zelensky says he's grateful to President Trump and blamed Putin for dragging out the war. Zelensky says the two leaders spoke following President Trump's announcement that he will impose 100% tariffs on countries that buy Russian goods and oil if a ceasefire deal isn't reached in 50 days.
It is very positive that President Trump is taking a strong stance on Russia. On the other hand, 50 days is a very long time if we see that they are killing innocent civilians also every day.
Here at home, the U.S. Supreme Court issued an order allowing the Trump administration to move forward with mass firings of nearly 1,400 employees of the Department of Education while the case works through the appeals process. The court's liberal justices, in a scathing dissent, said the move permits the government to proceed with dismantling the department, calling the decision indefensible. President Trump on social media called it a victory to parents and students, saying the administration can return the functions of the department back to the states. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Still to come on KOAM News at Noon, Mr. Food.
There's nothing better than sweet corn slathered with butter. Or is there? The sweet corn salad we're making today may have just what it takes to win you over.
And temperatures heating up and more storm chances on the way. We'll have a look at your forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM News at Noon on another hot and muggy day. And it's hotter today, so it's going to be a bit muggier. And tomorrow, it is going to do the same thing. Let's take a look outside real quick. Downtown Pittsburgh, we've got some clouds, and it's because we've got some pop-up storms, which you can see right there on the Skywatch Storm Tracker. So again, nothing strong or severe, but getting some heavier showers out there. We got them stretching back, let's say, east of the 59 corridor through Kansas. Coming back east, greater concentrations just outside of our immediate area, and of course getting some actual lightning strikes to the east of Lebanon out there. But still, these pop-up storms will continue across the area, and they will push off slowly but surely to the east, and we'll have a few more before the day is over. In fact, our chances run from now through about 7 o'clock this evening, maybe 8 at the absolute latest. Then we'll lose the heating of the day, so we'll lose those pop-up storm chances. We go into our Wednesday, we'll have mostly clear skies overnight, and at first we're dry. The big thing we notice is it's going to be a little hotter tomorrow. It's going to be muggier tomorrow, and those southwest winds are the reason, as they'll be gusting upwards of about 20 miles an hour, and that brings in more pop-up storm chances, but future tracks showing them over a broader area. And then we start to see some changes. We're still looking at, and there's going to be changes to this between here and even tomorrow at this time, thunderstorms, from strong to severe thunderstorms expected to our north tomorrow, will start trying to slide into parts of our area very late tomorrow night and early Thursday morning. Now, some of the timing and positioning has changed on this since this morning, and again, there will be some changes heading into tomorrow as well. But you can see that wind shift line. We've got a boundary pushing through, and that's what these storms are going to follow. The big change is, at least right now, that boundary is now expected to make it a little further south than initially expected through the morning. So that could leave some lingering showers, maybe a couple of rumbles of thunder out there. The one thing that's still somewhat consistent, though, even from this morning, is that same boundary. It retreats back north a little bit. We get a little more energy, a little more instability brought back in with those southerly winds. And we'll see new storms, especially pop-up storms, start to fire a little later in the day Thursday. That's going to be the thing, is at this point still looking at pop-up storms, maybe a few actual organized storms, and they're going to be a little later in the day than the traditional pop-up storms, and they may last a little longer as well. Could even get a couple of additional redevelopments late Thursday into very early Friday before we have an opportunity to dry out again. Now, tomorrow night into Thursday morning, we still have the level 1 out of 5 risk, mainly for the potential for some damaging wind gusts, and again, still in our far northern counties. We'll get an update on this tomorrow morning as well, so we'll see again exactly how all of this is going to pan out for us tomorrow, but tomorrow night really. But again, just something we want to keep an eye on. As for the rest of today, still about 90. Heat index values already reaching 100 for some of us out there, and tonight we'll be back into the low 70s, so temperatures remaining above normal. As we roll into our Wednesday, ahead of all the pop-up storm chances and everything else, we're now looking low to mid 90s. Heat index values up to 105, maybe a hair over in some cases, so we're talking some dangerous heat here. Cloud cover, rain chances leading into Thursday do help bring our temperatures down a little closer to normal, but it's short-lived. We roll into the upcoming weekend, and here come those low to mid 90s again. So after some pretty decent temperatures, yeah, we've had some warm days. Mother Nature, though, really kicking into high gear here with these July temperatures soaring. So just make sure you're taking care of yourself out there, staying hydrated. And of course, with those pop-up storm chances, just remember, when thunder roars, head indoors.
Yes, it's definitely starting to feel like July.
Certainly so.
Thank you so much, Chris. Stick around. We're making darn good corn salad in the Mr. Food Test kitchen. We'll be right back. An all-American favorite recipe that's sure to be the hit of your next party or picnic. We're making darn good corn salad in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
If I had to name a best produce buy of the season, I'd probably have a pretty tough time. I mean, between the colorful bell peppers, juicy homegrown tomatoes, and fresh corn on the cob, I'd have to declare it a tie, especially since all three of them are at rock bottom prices. So what do you say we whip up an easy salad that combines all of these into a summertime favorite? We start off by boiling some corn on the cob just until it's tender. Then we take it out of the pot and let it cool. Next, we chunk up a few tomatoes, a green pepper, and a couple of scallions. You want to make sure the tomatoes are ripe, yet still on the firm side. Now we cut the kernels off the cob with a corn stripper, or you could use a chef knife. Then we toss everything together along with a lemony vinaigrette. It's what makes this salad come to life. See, told you it was easy. And since peppers, corn, and tomatoes are all so abundant this time of year, you can make a boatload for next to nothing. It's so good you're going to want to. To get the recipe for what we call our darn good corn salad, which of course includes the recipe for the lemon dressing, all you have to do is visit our website. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a summer fresh way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4 state market prices.
All right, so again, hot, muggy today, tomorrow. Heat index values up to 100 today, up to 105 tomorrow. Pop-up storms already happening. More on the way tomorrow. Some scattered storms late Wednesday into Thursday that we'll keep an eye on for you as well.
Well, thanks, Chris. Some big stories coming up at 5 as well.
That's right, a bunch of them. For starters, mold is a homeowner's nightmare. Home inspectors can often detect mold that's visible, but what if it's not? Well, some talented dogs have been trained and are sniffing out potentially harmful mold that you might not be able to see. Plus, why the Kansas Highway Patrol is urging for more caution on the roads this harvest season. And the CEO of the Children's Miracle Network makes a visit to Freeman Hospital in Joplin. Hope you'll join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up today, KOAM News at 5.
Well, thank you so much. That's the news for now. Thank you for joining us for KOAM News at noon. Have a great afternoon.